California leads the nation in environmental issues, so it wasn't too much of a surprise when Governor Brown signed SB 270 into law, imposing the nation's first statewide ban on plastic bags in grocery stores. Here with the details are Roger Kuby with the Surfrider Foundation and Miro Kopik, marketing lecturer at San Diego State University. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Roger, remind us of the basics of this plastic bag ban.
Sure. The basics of SB 270, the plastic bag ban, is effective July 1st of 2015. Plastic checkout bags will no longer be available in grocery stores and pharmacies. And then a year later, in July of 2016, it will also apply to smaller grocers, convenience stores, and liquor stores.
Now, among other groups, SeaWorld announced today that they support the ban because they say the environmental impact of plastic bags on sea turtles. They've actually documented quite a bit of that. So when it comes to plastic pollution impact on our beaches here in the San Diego region, what is it?
Well, SeaWorld speaks to one major concern with plastic pollution in our marine environment, and that's the impact that it has on marine animals. Whether it be through ingestion or entanglement, plastic pollution ultimately does kill marine life. So that's one issue. As far as our involvement in this, we do about 40 to 45 public beach cleanups every year in San Diego County. In 2013, we collected about 7,000 volunteers, collected about 10,000 pounds of trash. About 70 to 80% of that is plastic pollution. So it's prevalent in our marine environment, has negative impacts on marine environment, and there's a number of other reasons why it should be removed.
Well, before we move forward, I want to let folks know that the American Progressive Bag Alliance, who represent the plastic bag industry, declined our request for this interview today. But Miro, they've said they'll attempt to get this ban on the ballot and have voters basically reverse it. They're citing things like job loss or a negative impact on retailers. Other cities already have bans in place and have for some time. What kind of impact as far as job loss or on the retailers do these types of bans have?
It always depends on the ban, but in this case, it would be fairly minimal. Most of the plastic bag manufacturers are based outside of California. As you mentioned, 127 cities and municipalities in the state of California already have a ban, and so it's really, and the amount of plastic bags that have been that are in use have declined 2/3 since the beginning of 2000. So Californians have already kind of led the way, and the impact at this point for those plastic bag manufacturers actually should be fairly minimal. Their real concern is what happens in the other 49 states.
And we're going to get to that, but I do want to ask you about the potential impact to consumers first, because there is a 10-cent charge, right, yes, for using paper bags, or you're going to have to buy a reusable bag. Will it have an impact on, let's say, low-income shoppers?
Well, certainly, if you look at kind of average shopping patterns, if a family were to just use paper bags, that might result in spending, depending on how much they buy per week, between $25 and $80, $90 more a year just in paper bags. Certainly the reusable bags that they can bring in time and time again are much less expensive, and the retailers can actually lead the way here to promote this change and actually offer the bags for free if shoppers exceed their grocery purchase by a certain amount. So spend $50, get a free bag. It's a great way. It's a win-win for those retailers. They're seen as being leading the way, and consumers will actually be able to benefit.
Well, and that brings me to a question, and I'll start with you, Roger, that basically, I've already had people come up to me and say, how am I going to clean up after my dog's mess if you take away my plastic bags? How do you get people on board with the idea that using reusable bags or paper bags is a better choice?
I think it's really a change in perception for our society. I mean, we're a wasteful society. We love convenience. So there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for people from a convenience standpoint. So with the not having plastic checkout bags to use a second time for perhaps trash liners or to pick up your dog waste or pet waste, fortunately there are a lot of alternatives. For example, myself at home, I compost. I don't even use a liner in my trash bag. So that's hopefully a move that many more people will make. I have a dog as well, and I use more environmentally friendly bags than plastic bags.
And Mira, I'll ask you the same question. We'll have to end on this. How do you get people to buy into this? He mentioned using maybe some alternatives. You mentioned that grocery stores could help promote this. Is there anything else to kind of win the public over for this?
Well, this is really actually a first baby step. It's really these disposable bags that are given in grocery stores. It's not the sandwich bags, it's not the liners for trash bags. So it's not a big step. So it's going to make consumers feel a little bit better that they're doing something for the environment, because everyone knows that these bags can be unsightly on beaches, and everyone's seen them, or videos of large amounts of plastic bags in the ocean. So I think the consumers will buy in pretty quickly.
All right, we have a lot more on our website, kpbs.org. Mira Kopik and Roger Kuby, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peggy.
Thanks.